The preliminary release of the Mueller report indicated that Russia was involved in trolling and hacking of the U.S. election system in 2016. But if these allegations are true, what was and is the U.S. intelligence community doing to combat cyber threats? According to 30-year veteran at the NSA and whistleblower Bill Binney, absolutely nothing.
Virtually nothing. I mean, everything's open. And none of the weaknesses have been fixed, and anybody around the world that looks at things closely can find them too, you know? And so when that happens, we get attacked. Now, the major governments have been attacking us all along. We have been doing the same thing to them also. I think we do a better job. We got more data, more information, more control of the network with implants and so on than anybody else in the world.
Now the debate over NSA surveillance is finally back in Congress. There's a new bill called the Ending Mass Collection of Americans' Phone Records Act. Try saying that a lot in a sentence. It's being heralded as legislation that will finally stop the NSA's mass collection of U.S. phone data and restore Americans' liberties. Michele Greenstein joins me now with the story. So break it down. What's in this bill?
So this bill removes all remaining authority from the FBI and the NSA to collect Americans' phone records, text messages, except those for which they have a warrant. Now, Ron Wyden, who's sponsoring this with Rand Paul, said that he wants to spark a debate about the metadata collection program of the NSA because he says it's quote-unquote never stopped a single terrorist. Now, portions of the Patriot Act are essentially set to expire by the end of this year, so this bill intends to shape the debate around that.
Has the NSA officially come out and said that it's reconsidering the program?
So earlier this month, the NSA director said that we were in a deliberative process about whether or not to continue the program, but this decision will ultimately be made by the Trump administration, not the NSA, and it's unclear whether or not they're willing to relinquish that authority.
Didn't the NSA, you know, when we're talking about a lot of these issues, you know, Edward Snowden comes up a lot. Didn't the NSA, you know, do away with bulk collection when all the Snowden revelations, you know, started coming to light?
Right. So there was definitely a huge debate after the Snowden revelations. Under the Patriot Act, the NSA would basically vacuum all metadata from all domestic call records, and this program, like you said, was authorized under Section 215 of the Patriot Act. So when Section 215 expired in 2015, it was replaced by the USA Freedom Act, under which these records are still retained, but now by phone companies. So the NSA will request any records from them through a FISA court. So we didn't do away with bulk metadata programs, we just privatized them. So the only thing that changed is that the onus of retention has shifted onto these private telecom companies. And by the way, John, the USA Freedom Act also reinstituted a large number of these surveillance protocols, authorization for wiretaps, tracking lone wolf terrorists. So a lot of these provisions remained, and critics say that the government's most intrusive surveillance powers really remained untouched and that we've only seen modest adjustments in terms of transparency requirements. And another thing I want to mention is that Section 702 of the FISA amendment allows for spying on any people who are reasonably believed to be outside of the U.S. So if you're communicating with a foreigner, you know, on foreign soil, then your records are able to be, you know, databased by the NSA, and the FBI can search these databases without a warrant. So we haven't seen the end of warrantless surveillance. And interestingly enough, last year Congress actually killed an amendment to reform 702 and instead expanded warrantless surveillance. And another thing, I'm sorry to keep rambling on you, but another thing is that the laws that restrict wiretaps in the U.S. don't apply to foreign countries. So as one example, Great Britain has a listening outpost at NSA headquarters here, and when Great Britain hands over intelligence to U.S. intelligence, that's not breaking the law. And this, you know, arrangement is reciprocal. So when we talk about domestic spying, it's important to remember these intelligence services sharing programs.
Yeah, so this isn't going away anytime soon.
Definitely not.
This is a major issue. It affects all Americans. So clearly this is a debate and discussion that's going to be ongoing. Michele,
for sure.
Appreciate the time. Good discussion.
I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.